You know, every time I see a movie that's set in the future and it has robots and stuff in it, I have to think to myself, is this going to happen to me someday? Wifelike was directed by James Bird and it stars Elena Camporus and Jonathan Rhys Meyers. And this movie is set in a future time where we are given robotic companions. This man is given a wife, she's played by Elena Camporus, and she is set to become his new partner. And she stays with him, but along the way, she begins to discover a strange connection, dark secrets, and something that may link to something even worse than anyone could have possibly imagined with this program and people surrounding it. Wifelike is one of those movies that I'm pretty sure nobody has any idea what I'm talking about right now. You probably didn't know what I was talking about when you clicked on the title of this video because it's just not getting any attention. I think that's because it has a lot of a lower budget and it doesn't necessarily have the name or the star power that most films have to kind of get them out there. But I think this film is going to be honestly underrated. This movie's probably not going to make most of its budget back. It's not going to do very well probably or get a lot of attention. And that's because of the small scale that it is, but I think it's worth me mentioning because I got to see it and I had a pleasure with it. I really enjoyed this movie. It was by no means a flawless film, but there was a lot to this movie to be admired, and I love so many aspects of it because I like the fact that it looks like someone with a smaller budget got their vision on the screen. And that's something I want to talk about and how well they did that. Elena Camporus as the lead character, who is this robot female companion meant to be with this man. She's supposed to be essentially his wife, take care of everything, is something that her character seems very real. It seems like something we could possibly have in the future. Someone just wants a wife. They just want a partner, essentially, for, pleasure and for other things. And they would just get this instead of going out and trying to meet an actual woman who would be intelligent and have their own opinions about things. So you just get this programmed robot AI instead. And her performance is very good in here. She changes it very well. It has to adapt throughout the movie as she discovers certain things and depending on the role she's in at that time. And she has really done a great job here. I like the way she played it. She plays it very artificially with a sense of at the same time human. It's like this eerie line between the two, and I like it because it felt like I sometimes was watching a real robot or a real android. It was something I really was excited about, and I liked the way she did it very much. I think that she's probably not going to get a lot of attention for this. I'm not sure if she's going to get a lot of roles anyway because of this, but I liked it a lot, and it was very well performed. The writing here I also think is very good. This script has a lot of good messages to it, and it's got a lot going on in it. It's something that I didn't think we would see necessarily, just because it's a script that I feel like will more or less come out the early 2000s or the 90s, but despite the fact it came out now, I still think it works very well. What's disappointing to me is that you can tell this film doesn't have a high budget, and because of that, I think it's not going to get a lot of big, production and things like that, which is why the coloring doesn't look the best. I think a better cinematographer, though, would have really helped in this film. This film needed some more creative shots. It needed a better look. Doesn't necessarily get that. I think the director probably should have been a little bit better too. James Bird's direction isn't necessarily the best in this film. I think the costumes are very good because this movie sets the future without going too crazy with it. So it seems near to us and it seems realistic and attainable, and I like that a lot. I also think that this movie is just great to see because of the fact it's a low-budget film that got made. And I'm aware this film isn't perfect, but the fact somebody made this film, they had a vision, they got to make it, makes me happy. We don't often see that anymore in Hollywood, where a movie like this can get made. Usually it would have to be part of an IP to make a movie like this, even though it's kind of cheap. I'm so happy I got to see it, though. I think another flaw with the film is the villains are a bit cliched in here. I wasn't too crazy about them. The plots, twists, and turns are all really good, except one particular one that comes in the late second act. And aside from that, I think this film really works for me. It's something I think you should go check out if you can find it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's underrated, and I genuinely want to kind of see it again. Just take another look at it. I'm going to give Wifelike a 7 out of 10. So thank you guys as always so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all next time.